Tucker Carlson and Susan Andrews. Tucker Carlson has been a dominant figure in conservative media for decades, and his private life has long been anchored by his relationship with Susan Andrews. The two met while they were teenagers connected to the same school community, and their relationship grew steadily through early adulthood before they married in the early 1990s. Their marriage has lasted more than 3 decades, which is notable in an industry where constant travel, public pressures, and unpredictable schedules often make long-term stability difficult. Susan Andrews has generally preferred a low profile. She rarely grants interviews and does not seek the spotlight, which has allowed the couple to put boundaries around their family life, even as Tucker has maintained a highly visible public career. Together, they have raised 4 children who are now adults. Observers often point to this long partnership as a stabilizing force through career changes, controversies, and network shifts. Reports have emphasized that Tucker proposed young, and that the couple built their life step by step while he developed his broadcasting career, and she focused on keeping the family organized as their children grew. Public interest peaked again when coverage noted that their son entered public service work connected to communications, which underscored how the family remains tied to civic life while preserving privacy. In an era when many media couples treat social platforms as a running diary, Tucker and Susan have taken the opposite approach. They rarely post personal photos, they attend events together occasionally, and otherwise keep major milestones quiet. That privacy has not reduced curiosity, but it has kept speculation limited because the basic facts are straightforward. A long marriage, 4 children, and a family that appears to value loyalty and routine over fame. The durability of their marriage gives viewers a different angle on a figure better known for sharp commentary. It also reminds audiences that behind every nightly broadcast is a home life that shapes decisions, schedules, and priorities. For all the headline drama that follows a top-rated host, the relationship with Susan Andrews is steady, traditional, and rooted in shared history. Sean Hannity and Ainsley Earhart. Sean Hannity and Ainsley Earhart are 2 of the most recognizable faces in the Fox orbit, and their relationship has evolved from quiet whispers to public acknowledgement over several years. Both went through divorces that finalized in 2019, and both maintained intense workloads across radio and television while navigating single-parent life. Over time, reporting indicated that they had grown close, sharing faith commitments and an interest in religious study that eventually led to on-air collaborations. Observers noticed shared travel, joint appearances at public events, and a visible comfort level that went beyond workplace camaraderie. For years, the pair declined to define the relationship formally, choosing to let speculation run without on-air confirmation. That changed when coverage documented an engagement around the 2024 holiday season, marking a significant milestone after a long stretch of privacy. Because each has a large and loyal audience, the announcement carried personal interest and broader cultural weight. Viewers who had sensed a bond were pleased to see it confirmed, while critics treated the news as another example of how media colleagues can blend professional chemistry with life beyond the set. The couple balances life between Florida and New York to accommodate broadcast schedules. Reports have described family-friendly routines that include blended gatherings with children from previous marriages, with an emphasis on keeping co-parenting relationships respectful. That approach matters to their audience, which values stability and family life as ideals. Hannity has long used his radio platform to speak about faith and personal responsibility, while Earhart has published inspirational titles and hosted a Bible study discussion program. The alignment of those interests gives the relationship a public narrative that fits both brands without requiring constant disclosure of private details. It is not unusual for news personalities to partner within the same media ecosystem, but few pairings draw this level of attention because both are marquee names. The engagement marked a transition from speculation to commitment, and it signaled that the partnership is not a brief chapter but a central part of their shared future. Laura Ingraham and her family life. Laura Ingraham is one of the most prominent conservative hosts in prime time, and her personal life presents a different profile than many of her colleagues. She has never married, and she has built her family through adoption, becoming a mother to 3 children. Laura has been candid over the years about how motherhood changed her priorities and daily rhythms, even as she maintained a demanding television schedule and editorial leadership duties with her digital publication. The absence of a public romantic partner has often been a topic of curiosity, but Laura has consistently steered attention toward policy debates, cultural questions, and the values she believes strengthen families. Her on-air commentary sometimes challenges younger audiences to reconsider career first choices, arguing that family formation deserves early focus. This stance occasionally draws criticism because she herself did not marry, yet supporters see no contradiction in promoting strong families while charting a different path to parenthood. What stands out is that Laura has stitched together a life that is both high-pressure and hands-on, one that requires late-night broadcasts, paired with school commitments and parenting responsibilities. From a viewer perspective, her example illustrates how modern media figures construct family on their own timeline. It also highlights how adoption can move from a private decision to a public testimony about love, stability, and opportunity for children. As with many anchors, Laura has experienced sustained public scrutiny, but her decision to keep romantic life off camera has largely insulated her children from relentless tabloid cycles. That deliberate boundary setting reflects a belief that media exposure is best used to advance arguments rather than to showcase personal milestones. Whether one agrees with her politics or not, the portrait that emerges is of a host who treats motherhood as a vocation while preserving independence in her adult relationships. The combination of fierce professional focus and deep parental commitment offers viewers a reminder that there are many ways to build a family that is strong, intentional, and resilient in the face of controversy. Jesse Watters and Emma DiGiovanni. Jesse Watters has experienced a very public personal life that includes a first marriage, a divorce, and a second marriage to Emma DiGiovanni. The timeline is well documented. Jesse married Noel in 2009, and the couple welcomed twin daughters during their decade together. After the marriage ended, Jesse began a relationship with Emma, a former Fox producer and a trained dancer with a strong interest in fitness and lifestyle content. The couple announced their engagement in 2019 and married later that year in a ceremony that drew colleagues and friends from the network. Their first child together, a son, arrived in 2021, and coverage has since noted that the family has grown further. Viewers have watched Jesse move from a field correspondent known for man-on-the-street segments to a prime-time host with a large audience, and Emma has developed her own following through social content and brand collaborations. The relationship is often discussed with a mixture of fascination and skepticism because media workplace romances attract scrutiny, and because Jesse is open about provocative humor that can divide opinion. Nevertheless, the pair projects a unified image that emphasizes family life, fitness, travel, and routine domestic moments. For fans, this narrative underscores redemption, renewal, and second chances. For critics, it raises questions about professional boundaries and the dynamics of power inside large media companies. The reality is more straightforward. Two adults met in a high-stress environment, experienced scrutiny, and built a new family step by step. Over time, Jesse has frequently referenced his children on air, highlighting ordinary parenting stories that humanize a host known for sharp elbows. Emma, for her part, often shares glimpses of life that center on healthy habits and positive framing rather than media drama. In an attention economy fueled by outrage, their decision to keep most family details low-key has probably helped the relationship stabilize beyond the headlines that marked its early days. Greg Gutfeld and Alina Massa. Greg Gutfeld has crafted a late-night persona built on satire, oddball humor, and a willingness to poke fun at every political tribe. Off-air, his marriage to Alina Massa provides a counterweight to that performative edge. The couple met in 2004 while Greg was working abroad in a role connected to magazine editing and television development. The origin story has become part of his public lore, with Greg explaining in interviews that he felt an immediate certainty about Alina when they met during a work trip. They married the same year, a whirlwind timeline that surprises fans who associate Greg with long-form comedic skepticism. Alina Massa brings her own creative background as a fashion professional and photo editor who has moved comfortably through international cities and media scenes. The marriage appears to function as a creative partnership in which each respects the other's space. Greg travels and films at odd hours while Alina curates projects that do not require constant public disclosure. In recent years, Greg has spoken occasionally about the way marriage provided structure to a life otherwise defined by deadlines, debates, and constant feedback loops from ratings and social media. Viewers sometimes catch gentle references to Alina during monologues, and those moments have the effect of softening a personality that is otherwise locked in comic combat with the news cycle. Their relationship also highlights how New York media couples often live in compact or quirky spaces, accumulate eclectic friends, and build routines calibrated around shows rather than school bells. While some hosts overshare online, Greg and Alana maintain a minimal footprint and let curiosity simmer. That approach keeps speculation down because the basics are not disputed. They met in 2004, married quickly, and have stayed together through all the twists of modern cable news and book tours. In a lane where irony is currency, Greg's long marriage to Alana stands as a sincere through line. The jokester has a home base, and that home base is a creative partner who understands the industry without needing to headline it. Dana Perino and Peter McMahon. Dana Perino's public life has spanned high-stakes roles, from serving as White House press secretary to moderating headline-making debates and co-hosting a daily roundtable. Through those chapters, her marriage to Peter McMahon has been a source of steady support. The two met by chance in 1997 during a flight, a meet-cute that Dana has retold with affection in interviews and in her writing. They married the following year and have now spent more than a quarter-century together. Peter McMahon is a business executive with international experience, and his work has often involved travel and complex operations. Dana has described how his steady temperament, practical advice, and British wit helped her navigate intense jobs and the constant pressures of live television. The couple built a transatlantic rhythm early on, fitting visits and logistics around careers that did not always line up neatly. Over time, they settled into a life that blends work discipline with warmth and shared rituals, including a famously beloved dog that became a minor celebrity among viewers. What makes this partnership especially compelling to audiences is the way Dana speaks about it. She does not frame marriage as a fairy tale, but as a daily practice built on respect, humor, and mutual encouragement. Peter appears occasionally in public-facing moments but remains largely private, which keeps the focus on the relationship rather than on his resume. As Dana shifted from press office briefings to cable news, the marriage stayed consistent, and that stability has become part of her brand. The result is a portrait of adulthood that many viewers find encouraging. Two professionals with different backgrounds choose each other, build a routine, manage demanding careers, and make the partnership the anchor rather than the storyline. In an age when personal drama is monetized, Dana and Peter have opted for quiet durability. That choice resonates because it suggests that a media life can be ambitious without sacrificing the fundamentals of a supportive home. Brett Baer and Amy Baer. Brett Baer presents the news with a calm tone and a focus on fact-driven interviews. Viewers familiar with his work also know that his family life has demanded courage and resilience. Brett married Amy in 2004, and together they are parents to two sons. Their elder son, Paul, was born with complex congenital heart defects that required multiple open-heart surgeries beginning in infancy. The Bayers have chosen to be open about this journey, using interviews and public statements to express gratitude to doctors and to raise awareness about pediatric heart care. In recent years, Paul underwent another major operation after screening revealed an aneurysm that required immediate attention. The surgery was successful, and the family has since shared updates that show a teenager embracing life, planning for college, and focusing on normal milestones that once seemed uncertain. Amy has been a strong voice in the family's public advocacy, appearing alongside Brett to encourage parents to seek second opinions and to stay vigilant about follow-up care. The couple's transparency has given viewers a human connection that transcends politics. It reveals the nightly anchor as a father who has paced hospital corridors, prayed over operating rooms, and balanced fear with faith. Their younger son, Daniel, has grown up alongside this medical reality, and the family's closeness is evident whenever Brett speaks about milestones or shares a glimpse of celebrations. Professionally, Brett's schedule is relentless, but the commitment to family is clear. He has structured travel and special programming around key medical checkups, and he regularly credits Amy's strength for holding the home front during the hardest seasons. The story here is not simply about celebrity marriage. It is about a partnership forged by adversity, marked by gratitude, and sustained by hope. In a broadcast environment that prizes speed and reaction, Brett and Amy's example slows viewers down and points them to what endures. Harris Faulkner and Tony Berlin. Harris Faulkner brings a distinctive mix of grace and steel to daytime and weekend programming, and much of that balance reflects a home life rooted in a strong marriage. She has been married to Tony Berlin since 2003. The two met while working in the same market in Minneapolis, where Harris anchored for ABC and Tony reported for a CBS station. That newsroom proximity evolved into friendship and then into a relationship grounded in mutual respect for the craft of journalism. Tony later transitioned from on-air reporting to public relations, founding a firm that helps clients navigate media strategy. This professional evolution has complemented Harris's career as she moved into national broadcasting. The pair manages an interfaith marriage with openness. Harris is Christian, Tony is Jewish, and they have raised 2 daughters in a home that embraces both traditions. Harris has spoken about how this blend strengthens their family by teaching empathy, curiosity, and a sense of shared values that rise above labels. The couple has also navigated the specific demands of television with practical teamwork. Early call times, weekend coverage, and live crisis programming require flexibility, and Tony's understanding of newsroom rhythms has been an asset. Viewers sometimes see family moments when Harris references her daughter's milestones, and those glimpses convey a household that treats achievement with humility and honors routine over spectacle. The public face of their marriage is steady and low drama. There are occasional features that profile Tony's career shift or the family's commitment to community work, but otherwise the Berlins keep social sharing modest. That choice allows Harris to present news and opinion without the distraction of daily personal branding. It also demonstrates to audiences that long marriages in media are not only possible but can flourish when built on respect and shared purpose. The story of Harris and Tony is a clear reminder that behind the bright lights and studio sets stand partners who understand the mission and help carry it forward with patience, humor, and faith. Maria Bartiromo and Jonathan Steinberg. Maria Bartiromo, often called the Money Honey, in the early days of her career, is now one of the most influential financial journalists and anchors in American media. Known for her sharp interviews with CEOs, policymakers, and presidents, Maria has built a reputation on being tough, focused, and deeply informed about markets and politics. But behind the relentless energy of her professional life is a long and steady marriage to Jonathan Steinberg. The two married in 1999, and more than 2 decades later, their partnership remains a cornerstone of Maria's life. Steinberg is the CEO of Wisdom Tree Investments, a financial firm that manages billions in assets, and he is also the son of Saul Steinberg, a famous financier from the 1980s and 1990s. The pairing of a financial journalist and an investment executive makes immediate sense, but in practice, Maria and Jonathan have carefully balanced the overlap of their professional worlds with the privacy of their marriage. Their relationship is characterized by mutual respect for each other's demanding careers. Maria often begins her days before sunrise, preparing for early broadcasts and market openings. Jonathan's responsibilities as a CEO involve constant meetings, investor calls, and international travel. Yet they have built routines that keep them connected, such as weekend walks, shared meals without phones, and summer getaways where work is left in the background. Friends describe them as supportive and protective of each other's reputations, which is crucial when both spouses are highly visible in the financial and media industries. Importantly, their marriage has not been consumed by the spotlight. Unlike some media couples who allow their personal stories to become part of their public persona, Maria and Jonathan rarely share private details. They have no children, which has allowed them to focus on careers, but also on time together as a couple. Maria has occasionally spoken about how the decision gave her the freedom to pursue broadcasting opportunities that required early mornings and constant travel. What stands out most about this marriage is the balance of equals. Maria commands attention in broadcast journalism, and Jonathan runs a successful financial company. There is no sense that one career overshadows the other. Instead, the relationship appears to function as a partnership of mutual admiration. When Maria faced criticism or praise for her coverage of politics and markets, Jonathan remained steady support behind the scenes, offering advice without seeking attention. For audiences, learning about Maria Bartiromo's marriage to Jonathan Steinberg provides another reminder that even in high-pressure industries, long-lasting partnerships are possible. It also shows that personal steadiness can be the foundation for professional intensity. Just as she has built trust with viewers by asking the tough questions, she has built trust at home by cultivating a relationship rooted in loyalty, respect, and shared ambition. The lives of high-profile media personalities often seem larger than life, but their partnerships reveal rhythms that most families will recognize. Long marriages marked by privacy and loyalty, second chances that lead to blended households, single-parent devotion that builds a home through adoption, creative partnerships that steady demanding careers. These stories underline a simple truth. Audiences tune in for news and analysis, but they also connect with the people who deliver it. Knowing the human context does not change the facts presented on air, but it does remind us that resilience, commitment, and compassion are not partisan. They are universal.